2020 and June 2021, an amount which could take up 25% of all tax revenue expected to be raised over the same period. This comes even as the Treasury promises to focus more on concessional borrowing going forward. In its budget policy statement published in January 2020, the National Treasury projects that 311.4 billion shillings will be used in settling interest for domestic debt, while 147.6 billion shillings will be used in settling interest on foreign debt. The total of 459 billion shillings will represent an increase of 3.9% from the amount spent in paying interest between July 2019 and June 2020. This signals the growing burden taxpayers are bearing as a consequence of the state's high appetite for borrowing both domestically and externally. In the same period, the National Treasury expects to spend 490.7 billion shillings in public sector wages and salaries, a slight increase from the 487 billion shillings projected in the revised budget for financial year 2019-2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wage bill as a percentage of revenue.
The November 2019 National Wage Bill Conference resolved to have the Salaries and Remuneration Commission develop a national performance management policy to streamline and standardize public sector compensation at both national and county government levels. On the division of revenue front, the National Treasury is proposing to allocate county governments 317.8 billion shillings for the period between July 2020 and June 2021. An increase of 1.3 billion shillings from the amount allocated in the present financial year. The amount proposed by the National Treasury is, however, lower than the 321.7 billion shillings proposed by the Commission on Revenue Allocation as the amount that should be designated for devolved governments in the next financial year. Stakeholders such as the Office of the Controller of Budget and the Judicial Service Commission had until the close of business on Tuesday, which is today, to submit their comments on the proposals from the National Treasury.